Let's talk about the album Threshold by Nocturnus. Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. So this is a challenge response video to This Is Music. So This Is Music and I challenged each other. I challenged him to listen to a classical music piece that I really love. It's Gurecki's Third Symphony, the Symphony of Sorrows. And after he did his review, I found out that that really isn't out of his comfort zone. He actually likes classical music, and that's fine. He got to listen to a new piece of music in the classical music genre that he'd never heard before. And it was a success because he ended up really enjoying it. So that was a good thing. Not that you have to enjoy what we challenge each other to, but hey, it's a plus in the end if someone actually really likes something that you've recommended. So Kim challenged me to listen to an album called Threshold by the group Nocturnus. Now, I did some research on this album, and then stupidly I left my notes at work, but this is what I remember. Okay, so I didn't go back and do all the research. So what I remembered was, I think this is their fourth album, and it came out in the early 90s. And on this particular album, they got a new lead singer because the originator of the band was a drummer and singer on the first couple albums, but then they got a new singer, so that I guess his voice wasn't as good and they wanted to make their sound better. Now, what was interesting about it is right after this album was done, the band members got rid of the originator, the drummer, and they quickly patented the name so that he couldn't use it. Now, I don't know the details behind this, but that story is pretty fascinating. And if you know more details about it, would you please write it in the comments? That whole thing sounds really fishy to me. I would think that the band should actually form a new one and then leave the band name to the originator. But I don't know the details. I don't know if, he was doing something wrong. But at that point, the band had already had a couple albums and they were starting to be famous. So, that could have been bad to change the name. So that whole legal issue in there is interesting. But to me, it's also a moral issue besides a legal one. So besides all that, now I guess this album is in the death metal genre. What's interesting about the album is that this was the first death metal album to use keyboards and science fiction themes, which was unheard of in the death metal scene. And I think that's what makes this album enjoyable. Both of those items. It's those two changes that really elevate this album. And I kind of know what I'm talking about. So as Kim would say, I'm kind of talking out of my ass right now because I don't know death metal. But later on, I'm going to review another album called At the Gates. And that one, to me, is what I think of as like the pure death metal. I feel like this album is elevated because of those keyboards. And the science fiction themes just made the songs fun because I am actually a sci-fi nerd. And so I enjoyed looking at the lyrics and following along as the singer sang the songs and getting to know the stories behind the songs. So I'm actually going to break down the songs one by one. I have notes. And you're going to hear clips from most of the songs, not all of them. I want to start this way. Bear with me. Woe to you of earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666. Do. Okay, so if you know Iron Maiden at all, then you probably recognize me mangling the beginning of that. The point of me doing that is in here, right? It's not going away. It's in there from when I was a teen. It seems like heavy metal music kind of started that trend where you have this like introductory quote that sets up the album. This album starts that way. There is this really... So first off, the first song is called Climate Control. And it's an environmental song, but a very weird one. So it starts off with like a 1 minute invocation to many gods. So this priest is like invocating God after God, telling each god to bring their power down to destroy the earth. So I guess this person woke up on the wrong side of the bed. He's mad and he wants the whole place just brought to ruin and destruction and chaos.
Bring forth the mighty storm, that this world shall taste your fury. Lord Dibble, keeper of the fire and full.
Later in the song, you have all the elements and all of the, they're not all elements, but they're all like the different forms of weather and environment that could affect the earth, like storms, lava, thunder. So they're all like invocated it one after the other, and it's like telling how the earth can be destroyed. It sounds horrible, but it's actually a really fun song. I thought this was a really nice way to start the album, even though it doesn't sound nice. It's a really fun way to start this album. Next, we have the song Tribal Vodun. And this is about an ancient religion. I actually should have looked this up, but this is about like an ancient religion, and it deals with like magic. And this song is nice because of the variety of the singing. Now, at this point, let me go ahead and stop and talk a little bit about the voice. Now, so this is one of those, I don't know what they're called, but the voices where they go rah, 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 like that's the type of singing. Since I have another album to reference, which is what I'm going to talk about later, I didn't mind it so much on this album, and I think there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, the music varies a lot within each song, so you don't have a chance to get bored with the singing. So that's one problem I have with this type of voice. It sounds to me monotonous. Now, I also marvel at the technique, because for me to be able to go for 30 minutes or more, like I wouldn't be able to last a minute. Like that would be something that I'd have to like train to try to do, and then I think I'd lose my voice pretty quickly. So when it comes to that, I kind of marvel that someone can actually do that and keep it up for long periods of time. But what's interesting about this is every time the music varies, the voice goes along with it. And there's going to be one song, there's going to be a snippet that I play later, where the voice feels like another instrument. It's like a beat that goes along. So every part of the lyric goes with the beat, and it works because the voice, just like I said, goes with the beat and feels like another instrument on the song. It's not overlaid on the top, like going across all the song. It goes with the beat. It would be like me singing like that if it's the beat. So sorry, I should have saved that for later, but that's kind of what I mean. You don't have a chance to get bored with this. And mostly that's also because of the keyboards, which you hear a lot in this song. Okay, the next song is called Nocturne in BM, which is an instrumental, and I really like this song. Number one, it might be because there's no voice, and which, like I said, in other tracks, it's not a problem so much. But this is an instrumental, and right in the title, it sounds like it's going to be like a reference to a classical musical piece, like Nocturne. And then in BM, I don't know what BM, I'm just guessing that maybe that stands for black metal. I don't know. I don't know what the BM stands for. This song really, really sounds like the theme to Halloween or some other kind of John Carpenter movie score. And that's not bad. I love that music. So this is like a heavy metal John Carpenter. So the next song is called Arctic Crypt. This song is introducing the sci-fi theme of aliens. So this song has an alien ship that is entombed in ice, like The Thing. And then when the humans are drawn to it, they open it up and it unleashes a beast. Again, like hey, that second movie was also by John Carpenter. I think I hit on a theme in this album. So I'm going to read you some of the lyrics because the lyrics are they're just fun. Arctic Crip by Nocturnus. Curious humans drawn to the sight, staking camp in the frozen night. Legends told of the evil within, still forewarned the men came in, seeking knowledge forbidden to man, bringing death unto their land. Innocuous emissions alert the team. The source is soon revealed. A strange capsule scarred by time, covered with a foreign script. Anxious to unlock its secrets, they crack open the seal, unleashing the beast contained inside. Oh, the frozen Arctic crypt. I forgot that last part. Okay, let me read that last line again. Unleashing the beast contained inside the frozen Arctic crypt. I mean, come on, those lyrics are fun. How could you not like a song like that? I mean, if you're a sci-fi nerd, you have to like this song just for the lyrics. The next song, Aquatica, is kind of funny because the first line starts off, in the year 2023. So I guess this is going to happen next year. I think they should have said 3033, maybe. So, like I said, it starts off, in the year 2023, multinational warlords build an aquatic colony in the struggle for total domination. So this is basically underwater colonies and war over territory, which sadly is a theme that is not going away. So the beginning of this one is really, really nice. And then this has some of the fastest music and singing on the album. And when it starts to do that, I lost interest because when the vocalist sings the lyrics fast, they start to become unintelligible. And to me, it loses the point of the, like, I want to at least hear the lyrics. So, because for me, that's part of the fun of these songs. And then when he starts going, like, I don't get the point of that. Now, I do understand the point of playing metal really fast. Like, I know that's important. But at the same time, you lose something when you do that. But luckily, the song doesn't stay there a long time. Like most of these songs, there are so many changes, and there's a lot of breaks where there are instrumental portions, and that keeps the listener's attention. So the next song is called Subterranean Infiltrator. I'm laughing at these titles, sorry. Subterranean Infiltrator. You're gonna see why when we get to Grid Zone. That's the last song, but we're talking about Subterranean Infiltrator. So the beginning of this sounds like a future war battle. So there's a lot of sounds of weapons being fired and like lasers, like weapons and lasers. I guess lasers are a type of weapon, but anyways, futuristic weapons being fired. Now this is an example where I feel that the voice becomes another instrument in the song. And since I already explained that before, I'm not going to go ahead and explain it again, but let's listen to a clip. Now, the middle, whenever there's an interlude in the song, the music sounds really sci-fi, and I just enjoyed and appreciated that. The penultimate song, which is Ultra Reality, had the weirdest lyrics for me. Overall, the lyrics can be kind of weird because they're usually just these little impressionistic pieces that the listener has to kind of string together and figure out. Some of them are a straight up story, but at other times, like in this song, there's just these strings of lyrics put together. It seems to be about a person who is trapped in many different types of realities all at once. So they're trapped in like time, space, some subatomic worlds. Like there's all these different realities that this person is trapped in, trying to break free. The last song on the album is called Grid Zone, and I had fun with this one. And this one brings together the themes of like war and sci-fi and colonial exploration and, you know, territorial domination. But what's funny about this song is that it seems like they had a manual for a space station or something, like a technical manual, and they just threw it open and they just started grabbing technological terms and they just put them into a song. So there's a lot of scientific construction terminology. Let me give you an example. I'm going to read some of the lyrics. From the edge of outer regions far beyond our solar zone exists an altered sphere of power, earth and metal, machine of war, planet's crust pierced by cables, linking networks beneath the surface, titanium plates shield the globe, cohesion of the infrastructure, friction of electromagnets simulates centrifugal force, massive gyros beginning to turn, enforcing acceleration, thrusters fire across the region, spewing forth nucleic plasma, worlds consumed, astral threat, perpetual horror, termination. So anyways, they're fun, but it's just like all these, to me, it seemed like word soup, technobabble, jargon, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. So I want to thank, again, Kim, This Is Music. I really enjoyed this album. It was fun. It was definitely out of my comfort zone. But I love sci-fi, so I really enjoyed that. And I think, like I think that I mentioned before, you're kind of taking care of me because you're kind of like, you know what I like already, and so you're kind of leading me in, and which is very different from what Beardy Red Pirate did. He threw me out the deep end, which if you watch that video, you'll see. So you two have two different techniques. So I see you leading me in, guiding me into the darker realm, whereas, like I said, Beardy Red Pirate was like, boop, there you go. Right into the deep end. Who's gonna like this album? I heard Metallica all through this album, and again, like I said before, that's my frame of reference. If you like Metallica, then you can easily step into this. Now, the one problem you're gonna have is the voice, but I think the voice is tolerable, and this is a stepping stone to some of those deeper, more guttural singing, and which I like because I want to try to get into that more. If you like sci-fi, you might want to dip your foot into this album. If you're interested in just challenging yourself to something new and different, I would recommend trying this album. It's fun. Those keyboards help keep you rooted. And whenever they stray off into something too difficult for us, those keyboards bring us back and help keep us grounded. So I really appreciate that. Give this album a try. Thank you so much for your support. And thanks again to Kim at This Is Music.